Hey guys, welcome to week number 7. Obviously today is Friday when I post this video. You guys got started on Wednesday for this week, but week number 7 is a pretty standard week as your normal other weeks. You have union organizing for chapter 6 that you will be doing and a chapter 6 quiz. And we will be in our discussion post, we will be talking about who do we blame in regards to jobs going down to Mexico. Now, this has become a hot topic recently, especially with our elections. Just as early as maybe a month ago, Carrier Air Conditioning actually retracted their thoughts of moving down to Mexico and have now considered opening up a plant in or keeping the plant open in Indianapolis, which is of course where our vice president is from, Pence. So I found it very interesting. This actual video that you're going to watch for your discussion was released or was leaked on February 11th, just about a year ago. And of course, please note that there is some offensive language, so I hope that that doesn't offend anybody. I didn't know any way to bleep it or to stop it somehow, but hopefully that doesn't offend you. There's not a lot, but there is definitely one or two words I've heard slip there. But this is one of their leaders announcing the departure of their plant in Indiana and plans to move to Mexico. And again, this was leaked in February 11th of 2016. We fast forward a year, and of course, today is February 17, 2017, and about a month ago, President Trump and Vice President Pence sat down with the leadership over at Carrier and somehow was able to get them to stay and invest money in the plant that they currently have running in Indianapolis. So these jobs, for the most part, that we know have been saved. Now, please note that when you're doing your discussion, my question is, what do you think creates these environments that causes businesses to decide to go to Mexico or to other countries, not just Mexico, but any other country that offers cheap labor? Is it something that we can blame the American household that just doesn't want to pay for made in America products? You know, if we have a product that costs $10 that says made in America, would you be willing to pay that much for a product versus a product that says, you know, made in Taiwan or made in China or made in Mexico and pay $3? So as we see in our economy, we want cheap. We can see it in our fashion industry, fast fashion. You know, we don't want to pay a lot for our clothes. Forever 21, H&M, all these type of retailers where they're, you know, buying or selling, they're selling you stuff that's not of good quality that comes from other parts of the country, and in hopes that you will use it 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 times and then dispose of it and return back to going to buy a new shirt or a new pair of pants. They don't last. Unlike our old school, where we would basically buy a pair of jeans that lasted year after year after year. The old Levi's that are very famous and very expensive right now, you know, they'll last a person half their lives, and people are willing to pay more for that. Well, our culture has shown us that that's not true anymore. People don't want to pay a lot for stuff. So whose fault is it? Is it the American household? Is it us as consumers who are not willing to put value in the made in of America product? Or is it the company? Do they just consider profit? Is it the union's fault for negotiating too high of a wages for their employees? Whose fault is it? Or is it Mexico that's willing to do this job for a lot less than anyone else? And of course, there's no right or wrong answer to this. I just want to hear your thoughts and your patterns. And do me a favor and seek out someone that doesn't have your opinion and have a discussion about this. This is a very, very valid issue right now in our economy with our president's push to try to bring more manufacturing jobs back into America. Is that going to be successful? Are we going to be able to lure big companies to come back to the United States to pay a minimum wage of at least $7.25 an hour, maybe even more in the near future, to be able to do jobs that people are doing, overseas for a fraction of that. And are you, as an American, willing to pay for more for your products, more out of your own pocket, more for your groceries, more for your peanuts that someone else is harvesting, more for your peaches, more for all your products, because it's made in America. Either way, interested in seeing it. On a note, midterm is next week. I will be putting that midterm together this week. Please reach out to me if you have any questions, any concerns about that. It's going to be 30 questions, similar to what you've already gone through, which is going to be multiple choice or fill in the blanks or true or false. Excuse me, not fill in the blanks. I won't do that to you. We'll just do multiple choice and true and false. Next week, all you have to do is your midterm. No discussions, no chapter tests, no chapter quizzes, just your midterm. You have 1 week to do it. You have one shot at it. So please be careful. Don't think that you're going to get 2 shots at it. You get one shot at the midterm. So make sure you're ready to go with that. Other than that, your discussions on Northwestern football team unionizing was fantastic. You guys killed it. Some of you had wonderful points. We have a student, a previous student athlete in our group. I think Lauren brought in very good perspectives in regards to what a student athlete actually goes through and why one would want to be unionized. I think Alec also brought in some good points. Just wonderful conversation. I think, like anything else in our discussions, in this case, I think the class leaned a little towards unionizing, which I thought was interesting after I read them all. And there's some strong people that stick with non-unionizing. So I've found that to be a very interesting conversation. Traditionally, the South is not a fan of unions. So I will admit that a lot of you surprised me with your responses to allow the football player to unionize. That is not a very typical response. I'm not sure if that was just this class or what happened. It's just interesting to see and read. But besides that, don't want to take up too much time. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for all you do. And we'll continue to chat. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll talk soon.